Welcome to another Teaching Orchestra demonstration. I'm going to show you something that I do just about every single day in my classroom, and if I don't do it, I really regret it. And I do this at all levels, and I think it's really important to establish finger patterns and getting our first position finger patterns in tune. I like to start with finger patterns and then build from there instead of going from scales, because if they're playing their scales out of tune, then they're not learning anything. So we start with the basic finger patterns and we build upon those. And if I don't do this every day, we kind of regret it, right? So it's something that we need to continually do every day. Our intonation suffers. One of the things that we're doing by building these finger patterns and these intonation structures is that, again, we're calibrating our ears, we're deciding as a group what is in tune, what is not in tune, we're listening, we're making adjustments, and we're anticipating notes that are going to be out of tune. So in order to do this exercise, you can just pick any string. Today, we're going to choose the D string. And we're going to start with what I call a major pattern. Some books refer to this as a 2-3 pattern. There's various names. I think there's a book that uses a color series of different colors to their finger pattern type of stuff. And whatever system you use is fine. I'm not here to debate the best nomenclature for your finger patterns. What we're here to do is show you how to get them in tune. So the first thing we're going to do is always start with the open string. When we say, hey, we're doing the open pattern, or the major pattern, the 2-3 pattern, whatever, everybody needs to understand what we're talking about. If you're working with a group that doesn't know what you're talking about, you're going to give them the notes as we go. We're going to say open D, we're going to say E, we're going to say F sharp, we're going to say G, we're going to say A. Now for the cellos, we're going to keep them in first position the whole time. I'm not going to have them shift. I'm going to play open A, and this is going to serve two purposes. Number one, they're not going to have to worry about shifting. They're going to worry about getting their first position notes in tune before they worry about anything else. And secondly, the open string, which should be in tune, is going to be a reference point for the fourth finger notes of the violins and violas. Okay, so let's do our major pattern. Okay, we're going to go very slowly and play them as long tones. And it's important to not go on until it's perfectly in tune. If it's out of tune and you go on, we're not really doing the exercise as we should. We're not learning how to adjust in tune. So when you, as a director, choose to go on to the next note, that's when you're telling your ensemble, this is what in tune means to me. This is when I say, hey, you're out of tune or you need to be in tune. It's because it's not within this calibration. Okay? Open D. Trying to get each fingered note as in tune as the open string. That's why we like to start with the open string as a reference. Okay, we saw a lot of good adjusting happening. That's good level 2 tuning. We saw some instances of level 3 tuning where some people are anticipating the F sharp and moving it a little higher, or whatever intonation tendencies they tend to have, and that's a good thing too. Some of these students are playing on not their primary instruments, just for demonstration purposes, because if we do it everything perfectly, we really have nothing to demonstrate. But if you notice during the thing that you give them hints, you say, hey, we're a little high, we're a little low. If you need to, and it's just so out of tune they're just not getting it, you can stop it, you can go down the row individually again, you can move their fingers around, so refer back to the Hear the Change video if you need help learning that pattern. So we start with long tones, getting everything in tune, and then we reduce the amount of time per note and see if they can adjust within that amount of time. So we're going to do quarter notes now with the major pattern, and now you have less time to tune each quarter note, so make sure it's in tune before you change pitches. 2, ready, go. If they're not getting it, don't go on. And if they're really not getting it, slow it back down to long bows again. All right? If they're getting it, we can go a little faster. Okay? 2, ready, breathe. In tune, so at this point we would not be going on. We would work and make sure they were getting those first finger E's in tune, maybe figuring out what the problem is with the technique. Is it a setup issue? Is it a posture issue? Is it a finger pressure issue? Is it a tone issue? What's going on there? We need to troubleshoot and we need to build on that. So that's the basic idea of how to build finger patterns. Do this every single day. You don't have to do it on every string, but you can do it on whatever finger patterns that the students are going to need to play in order to play their concert music or their all-region music or whatever they're working on in class. So I hope you enjoyed this. We'll see you next time.